Right, here we are, Acacia dealbata. Nice. One of the, now it's the Florist's mimosa. It's one of the wattles, the Australians know it as well. And this one, this is definitely Acacia, should have been here a fortnight ago when the weather was bad. Did any of you see it in flower? Beautiful, wasn't it? It was absolutely beautiful in flower, lovely scented flowers. And then I think it was just when it came into flower, I better be careful speaking the chords, I don't be careful what I say anything. But let's just say okay. So the weather went really bad. We had the snow, and then we had the ice. We can see the result, can't we? All the bloom got taken off, and the foliage went very unhappy. But what do you think? Do you think it's going to come back all right? Oh, yeah. I think it'll come back all right. I'm querying it a bit because this happened before, you see, and it was up that high before, and you can actually see there the stump. And it was bigger than it was now, and it was cured to the base, and we thought we'd lost it, but we just cut it down, and you can see these, a lot of these Australian things, they have a sort of big storage thing in the ground. It's mainly protection against fire, but of course it's worked in a different situation here. It's bounced back up, and I think that's about 5 years growth. So it's vigorous, fast growing. We describe it in a bit. You've got a lovely, very fine, bipinnate leaf with a lovely sort of grey-green colour to it. The bark's quite nice as well, isn't it, folks? A lot of people looking at the bark with the pattern on it, that's nice. And then, of course, you've got the flowers, which in this country, a bit difficult because they come late winter. It's not spring, it's late winter. And it's just depending on the weather. If the weather's good, you get a lovely show. If the weather goes off, it still tries to flower and it gets spoiled. But is it worth trying, do you think? Oh, yeah. Yes,
Why do the flowers come in late winter?
I suppose because it's not really well adapted to our climate. It's not quite synchronised correctly.
But normally, because I mean, like in southern Italy, it flowers in March. Like in International Women's Day, which is sometime in March. They have the habit of giving it to women, and it's in February.
Yeah.
Mediterranean.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
I named my daughter after this plant. It's called mimosa.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. She was born early and it was out of flower in January, end of January. So she got that.
I think you're all, the first thing to say is you're all correct, of course. International Women's Day, got to be correct. But I think what it is, it's just a reflection on the climate. Because I think what it is, it just flowers. As soon as it gets warmer, it somehow senses that and goes into flower because the buds are there for ages since the autumn. And I think it's just a response to warming. And with our climate, you know how our end of the winter becomes warm, then it goes cold again. Not well adapted to handle that, but potentially good. Is it in a good site? Move on to a little smidgen close to the building. I mean, we can have the foundations there, so it should have been away from the wall. Didn't plant it, not guilty. So away from the wall. What about the site itself? It's in a good site. It is really in a good site because it's facing south. It's against a nice wall there. If you look around, you see it's pretty sheltered, really. So it's got everything going for it. It is. You're dead right, Peter. It's much better as a wall shrub. And this is really how we were trying. One long time ago, it was actually held on there with wires, but it's probably more strength than the wires there. But good example. And this idea of global warming, climate change. Any good?
It was okay. I mean, my sister-in-law was lodging down at the time of uni.
You hear that, folks? Planted as a street tree in Southampton. It really is pushing, isn't it?
It was doing okay.
Doing
Because
okay.
even though I remember it's a large city, it's not coastal influence, it was actually quite warm, and it was very sheltered where it was, so they were doing all right.
We live in changing times, don't we, folks? So, interesting one there. I think we've got enough information on that. Soil, anything really, as long as it's well drained, but it doesn't like limey soil. Now, Southampton, is it acid down there, is it? Did it do all right?
It was doing okay, but then it was still a built-up area, so
So it might not have been lime.
it may not be as well.
No, but it has a, yeah, thanks for that, but it does have a reputation for not liking lime. So there we go, we've done a good one there. Now, any more local ones? Oh yes, cider barrel.